Thursday, October 13. It's 15 minutes in the morning. Double check to make sure we're online. Test. After 15 seconds of buffering, looks like we're live. Testing audio. Looks like we're live. Okay, good morning. It's Thursday, October 13, 2016. This is my 15 minutes in the morning stream. And I'm trying to think of what to do today. I've been skipping around my different projects. Let me take a look at what we've got going on here. This week and next week is very, very busy with work stuff. So I'm kind of cramming different itches into the morning routines rather than concentrating on one thing to get it done. But afterwards, hopefully I can let up a bit and start focusing again on the Nerd Magazine project, which is this one here. I'm going to work on this new project, the Food Packets project. Now, the Food Packets project is the idea of portion eating and economic minimization and taste maximization and ease of preparation. It's basically to optimize my eating and at the same time be more mindful of costs. I'm kind of curious, how inexpensively can I budget my food to create a convenient and tasty way of, sustenance. So I've been interested in stuff like Soylent, a bunch of various different, like food preparation techniques. And it comes back to, I remember when, with all this election stuff that's going on, it reminds me, when all this talk about immigration. Well, my parents are immigrants, and when I hear their story, it's like amazing, what they had to go through, not only when, before they got here, the States, but, how they subsisted on very little food. And I remember when my mom was still alive, there were some dishes she didn't like to eat because it reminded her of bad times. And they grew up in, I guess when they were young, they were growing up during World War II in Asia, specifically Taiwan, which at the time was a Japanese colony, and so they were bombed by the Allies, the good guys that we think of it, but they were just when they think about it, it's like they had hold no enmity toward anybody, but they just had no food. My mom didn't like to eat pumpkins and rice. My dad still likes it. Once my mom gave me a salty pickled plum, and she said this is what we had for lunch when we went to school. So you would have this little pickled plum, and you would have some rice with it, and that would be your lunch for the day. When they came to the United States, I remember the first memories I had, Dad was a minister for an American church in rural New Jersey, of all places, which was very unusual for any Taiwanese person to headline like a mainstream American congregation. Usually they would go to ethnic ones, like in other Chinese churches or Taiwanese churches. But Dad was incredibly confident and like outgoing in those days. He survived World War II, and he wanted to do everything. But I remember the meals that we used to have would be, we would never have like name brand any kind of food. This was in the 70s. I think the only name brand thing we would have is Skippy peanut butter. But we never had soda. It was like a rice-based diet. My mom cooked a combination of. I now realize it's a hybrid Japanese style of cooking. It's Japanese influences. Taiwan had been a colony of Japan for like over about 50 years. So there was a lot of generational stuff that had leaked into Taiwan culture at that time. So So things like she would make kind of teriyaki pork. I would recognize it now, but before it was just mom's pork. We ate a lot of canned corn. We ate a lot of like cheap hot dogs. Um, and then there were some dishes mom used to make. I had to remember what they all were, but they had to do it on like a very low salary, and I feel kind of like I need to kind of explore that again, just to understand it. So with that in mind, I bought this bag of small red beans, and I think today's project is to figure out something about how these beans work. I don't really know, because I grew up, in a relatively prosperous time. I mean, when I was in college, then I had to like eat cheaply and didn't eat out all the time or even eat a lot of fast food. I started buying more expensive peanut butters though, realizing that Skippy is terrible. It was terrible, terrible peanut butter. It might be better now, but I remembered the first time I had Jif peanut butter, I was going, this tastes so much more like peanuts. Oh my god, I've been missing out. And then after that, I started like trying other things. But I'm kind of in the mood to go back to those kind of older. I don't know. It's an exploration to figure out what I can do to figure this out. So part of the challenge, I think, is to. It's really dark here. Is to get light over here. So it's kind of a history lesson. It's also just kind of a life lesson. I've been asking my friends who I consider being masters of frugality. For example, my friend Angela, she's graduating with her master's degree in piano performance with no debt. And she's done it through living frugally, not borrowing any money, foraging for food, and just being really smart about eating. And she looks great, healthy. No danger of so she sent me a list of things that she buys. So let me just show you this on my chat window. So for example, she says dairy and meat is important. Short list of staples. Pots of rice or pasta, pre-made tomato sauce, yuck. Canned or frozen veggies. Those are fairly cheap, I think. Salad mix. That's kind of expensive, but European cucumbers. Sour cream makes everything taste great. Canned salmon or sardines. Eggs, oatmeal, cheddar cheese, frozen blueberries. Some of these take advantage of commodity pricing. I mean, buying frozen blueberries is much cheaper than buying fresh ones, I think, and they keep longer. Olive oil is a good idea. I'm kind of an olive oil snob, though, these days. So you can put the rice, beans, veggies in one pot. Add a salad, this is a pretty healthy meal. Then put pasta, tomato sauce, cheese on top, veggies and sour cream. Oatmeal with blueberries and butter. So the frozen blueberries and oatmeal, that's interesting. Canned fish with sour cream, with toast and salad greens. Fried egg on toast with butter with applesauce. That's interesting. Hard-boiled eggs on salad greens. Eggs. So that was one of them. I'd assembled a box of stuff that were like, they were starting points. Like, and these are rough the prices. These were like Target dishes I thought I would see. Like, how cheaply can I make these? And then, like, what are staple foods? So this was my attempt at it. And so I sent this package off to my friend Kit to do a parallel study with me to make sure that I'm not deluding myself. I actually bought a second box, but what I think I'm going to do today is I'm going to take these beans and do them. There's instructions on them. There's a rice bean recipe. I make a recipes. Oops. Excuse me. Let me close this again. Let's see. Let's go back here. This is a recipe. Let me. There's a rice and beans recipe I was looking at. I sent my dad asking him a question like if he remembered what our what our budgets and meals were like, and also going to ask him like what they ate during the war. He grew up under very hard circumstances. Had to raise like his two brothers and sisters, two sisters, three brothers. A lot of them, like both his parents passed away when he was 14, so he had to raise all his brothers and sisters. So he knows a thing or two about survival. Let's see. What was it? The rice and beans. You know, those were Money Crashers. Kind of had a bunch of easy bean recipes. This is one I want to keep. So this had a cost analysis of rice and beans. A 2-pound bag of dried pinto beans. I got red beans. I don't know if this is the right kind. Oops. $1.45. So when cooked, that 2-pound bag of beans is 6 cans of beans and will save you $3. So that's interesting. So $1.45 divided by 6. I mean, that's like 25 cents per can versus 75 cents per can. So, I don't know, this is a small amount of beans too. I bet if you bought a larger packet of them, it would be even cheaper. I don't remember. I had to look at the receipt to see what these are. But apparently what you need to do is you need to open up the package. Let's do that. And you need to take out all the rocks. Because I guess when they pack these things, there are sometimes rocks. So I'm going to get a pan. And then I'm going to have to soak these for 6 to 8 hours. I'm not sure what that does, but we will find out. Alright, I need a pan. I guess I can use this. Well, I'm getting like a... So, somewhat ironically, for my frugal food experiment, I am using, instead of like a regular pan, I am using an all-clad 12-inch stainless steel chef's pan, which is probably like $140. But that's what I have right now. Oops, some beans are everywhere. I guess I should get like one of those baking pans, but I don't really have any. So, let's see if we can get down close so you can see these beans. Yes. Already I'm sucking at this. So I have a bunch of beans. I'm supposed to soak these in a big pot for 2 to 3 hours, or 6 to 8 hours. And then afterwards, I can cook them. And then when I cook them, so I'm looking for rocks. I mean, I guess these are, or only weird shaped ones that aren't any good. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I guess I need more room to, because I guess sometimes there are rocks in these. That would be really bad if you're chewing. Although I'm wondering with sorting technology if that doesn't happen as much anymore. These are the store brand beans. What's this? It's a suspicious, it looks like a bean. It's good. Am I even doing this right? There's some broken ones. Is that a problem? I'm not seeing anything that's obviously a rock or a piece of dirt. But I guess I should rinse these and then soak them. Well, I guess that's that's something. I don't see any rocks in this. I'm terrified that there's one in here. All right, so if anyone sees a rock in this pan, let me know. I'm gonna go get the a pot. Trapped by this chair. Maybe I'll just raise this thing up too while I'm at it. Standing desk deployed. All right, you can go here now. I was going with this. All right, so there's my pan of beans. Let me get a pot. I've been slowly replacing my pots with induction-friendly pots. Not that I have induction yet, but I got this new, let me switch. I got this new IKEA pot. It's called a Sensual. If that will show up. It's actually, you know, it's not a cheap pot like a lot of the other IKEA stuff is. This actually has like a good heft to it. It seems to be clad. I remember looking at it and being kind of impressed by it. But it's a nice medium-sized pot with markings on the inside. It pleased me. It has like slightly angled handles too, so make it easier to pour. And it has a sort of dubious like window that's sealed there, but I don't know. It's a weird size, unfortunately. So none of my other lids fit on it. But anyway, what I'm going to do is just put these beans in here. Beans everywhere. And I'm going to soak this for 6 to 8 hours. And let's see what happens with that. So it says to soak it for put up 2 inches above this, and just soak it. So right now, if I look at this, I guess like I'm curious like how much it'll expand. Where's my ruler? I'll use this card. Let's have a ruler here somewhere. What happened to it? Can't find anything. There should be a ruler in this box. Where'd it go? There it is. Hiding behind whatever these things are. It's annoying. I should move this. So, I'm looking at these. Beside the average size of these beans seems to be about, I'd say like 1/4 inch long, maybe 3/8 of an inch wide. So I wonder if they'll expand at all. That'll be curious. I'll go fill that with water. I wonder if I can bring this camera with me. Link. The cable certainly is long enough, but I forgot to set the timer. No, the timer is going. Just reach. Looks like it will. So into the messy kitchen where the cat lords over us. And I need to do the dishes. Where's that out, just in case there's dust and sand and stuff like that. Awesome. Some of them are different colors. So it's lost some beans. This is my pouring technique. Two inches above? I guess I had to fill the pot up. All right, this is a nice pot. So we have, I guess, 6 to 8 hours from now. We'll see if there's anything different, and then after that, I can cook them. Maybe I will cook them and I can share the results tomorrow, and I can think about how to season these then. So I'll just put them over there. I'll just leave them here for now. And I do need to clean up the kitchen. Sorry, Dad. You had to see my messy house. There's the timer. So, project 16, whatever it is, begins. I'll move this back to the kitchen. 6 to 8 hours from now is 2 p.m. That'll be a good time to take a break. And so, and that's my 15 minutes for the day. We have audio still. I'm worried these batteries are running out. So one thing I'm thinking of trying is as a taste comparison. Oh, I got the wrong stuff. This is a dirty rice mix. But I wanted to use these commercially prepared things kind of as a baseline taste test. I thought I had a package of rice and red beans, though. So you can find that. Yeah. So for box number 2 that I'm assembling, I'm like assembling a list of everything that I need to, I guess, create staples, with various degrees of success. I mean, like, how do I store things? Like, if I want to store things in the freezer, maybe these, well, these are Ziploc. I went primo on this. And then here there's things like the oatmeal. I know it's the real Parmesan cheese, but it might add some flavor. I need to evaluate all the nutritional aspects of this stuff. It's Parmesan cheese, cellulose powder to prevent caking. Yee. Oh, I'm kind of unduly excited by this. Now here we go. This is some red beans and rice, which is why I got red beans. I wanted to see how this tastes and how it compares. So like a pack of this is like $1.99, and it's like, how many servings is this? It's 3.5 servings, 4 servings of a third of a cup. 1 cup prepared. So a cup is like something like this. And it's 1 cup is how many calories? 230 calories. So it's about like maybe 1/8 of one's caloric load. And the cost of this per the serving this is like $3. I think it was like $1.70. I forget how much. I look at the receipt. So it ends up being about 30 cents a serving. Maybe, if you don't add anything. I remember the stuff tasting pretty good just by itself, but you could add meat to make it more of a tasty thing. What's inside of it? It's got enriched long grain parboiled rice, red beans, onion, wheat flour, some various preservatives, salt, soy sauce, hydrolysis, red and green bell peppers, yeast, garlic, red pepper. Yeah, so there's not a lot in it. Where's the beans? Yeah, so I'm thinking that the combination of red beans, garlic powder, some salt, maybe a bit of soy sauce would make it actually a fairly decent base. Salt to taste, and let's see how that goes. So anyway, that's today's 15 minutes project. Is like the frugal food project. I'm kind of squeezing my happy bubble time into my 15-minute in the morning project rather than working on the Nerd Magazine project, because this next 7 to 10 days are going to be like lots of development work, and I kind of want to kind of make a break. I'm also starting these at 7:30 in the morning, and I'm feeling much better than actually just launching right into the project, because it gives me some time to make coffee and to wake up. So it's about 8 o'clock. I'm about to jump into work. So thanks for watching, and have a good day, and get some cool stuff done.